Hello, dear viewers, and welcome to a new episode of Business Insider. I'm your host for tonight, Muhammad Abdelrahim, and tonight we'll be talking about the fresh water needs here in Egypt, the desalination technologies here in Egypt using the solar energy solutions. A very important topic, and we are delighted to have with us here in the studio Dr. Ahmed Al-Asqalani, and he's an associated professor of mechanical engineering at Sohag University. A very good evening to you, Dr. Al-Asqalani. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for your invitation and for attending this interview.
Thank you, sir.
I'm very happy by this invitation.
We are delighted to have you with us. Allow us, please, Dr. Al-Asqalani, as we always do in this program, first to watch a report about our main topic for tonight, and then we'll come back and start our discussion.
Okay, welcome.
Please stay with us, dear viewers.
Deputy Minister of Housing, Utilities and Urban Communities, Said Ismail, held a meeting last October to review the progress of the strategic plan for seawater desalination through 2050. The meeting discussed boosting coordination between relevant state entities for desalination plants. Ismail highlighted the importance of executing the strategic plan for desalination in coastal areas to ensure the availability of drinking water along the Mediterranean and Red Sea coasts. This is critical to meet both current needs and the expected population growth in these regions, as well as to support urban development in new coastal cities. Officials from the holding company for water and wastewater presented a proposal outlining the strategic desalination plant and the targeted stations for implementation. They discussed the status of securing the necessary land for building the desalination plants as part of the plan, as well as challenges faced during the execution across different coastal governorates. The company's officials noted that the plan covers 11 coastal governorates, explicitly Matruh, Alexandria, Bahira, Kafr al-Sheikh, Daqahliya, North and South Sinai, Port Said, Suez, Ismailia, and the Red Sea. Ismail emphasized that the desalination strategic plan is a comprehensive national initiative overseen by the cabinet and backed by political leadership. The plan, developed by the Ministry of Housing, involves collaboration with various state bodies such as the Ministry of Water Resources and Irrigation and the Suez Canal Authority to evaluate the projected water needs. Ministry of Planning, Economic Development and International Cooperation through the Egypt Sovereign Fund of Egypt and the Ministry of Finance via the Public-Private Partnership Unit are collaborating to prepare the required technical studies and issue tenders for local and international specialized companies. At the end of the meeting, Ismail highlighted the importance of continued coordination among various ministry-affiliated bodies to review their needs for desalination plants in coastal areas and update the plan accordingly. He also stressed the importance of finalizing the coordination for the urging plan to provide the necessary drinking water in collaboration with different ministries and state entities.
Thank you very much, dear viewers, for staying with us, and many thanks to Abir Hussein and Rasha Abdelhamid for this report. And we're back here with Dr. Ahmed Al-Asqalani, who is currently an associated professor of mechanical engineering at Sohag University. Dr. Al-Asqalani graduated from Almenia University, where he also got his master's degree. He got his PhD degree from Japan,
Yes.
and he also worked in Germany and Scotland in that field. What was the thesis, Dr. Al-Asqalani, of your PhD from Japan?
Actually, my thesis on PhD was on water desalination by solar energy. That was my kick point, starting point from this 2013, starting working on water desalination by solar energy. So after that, I come back to Egypt to start my research with my team group to own this field. I thought that I have to bring up for Egypt from Japan
The latest technologies.
Yes, this technology on the field of solar energy. However, this country, Japan, I mean, it doesn't have enough solar
Sun,
energy.
yeah.
You know, the weather there is not like Egypt. So Egypt, we have a huge area of solar, but Japan doesn't like that. So they are thinking about us. They are thinking to how they make technology and sell to us later. So what we have to do is bring this directly to Egypt, not pay for it. So I try to travel this technology with using my students, my colleagues, and build up my team to working on this area. That was my starting point from PhD until now.
Very good. You speak Japanese?
No,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Of course, Egypt is one of the countries that receives the lots of sun ray throughout the year. I was recently reading a report. It was a British report talking about tourism mainly, and it said that Egypt is #1 in the world in the hours of exposure to the sun. Egypt, Namibia, and Sudan. Those were the top 3, and Egypt came at #1. So I guess we have a lot of sun ray here in Egypt.
Sounds good for the tourism, but for our point of view, I'm not sure about this data. So some countries like Egypt and Saudi Arabia and some countries in our region have a lot of times for solar rays. So yes, Egypt, one of the exposure areas, large exposure areas in the world for the sun, but it's not the only one. Also, maybe it's not the first as well.
Okay.
But we have already this treasure, and we have to use it to employ it in our.
So how far have we gone since 2013? I mean, 12 years have passed by since you came back from Japan and you came with your PhD in water desalination using solar energy. How far have we progressed in solar energy in Egypt?
So you mean for the country?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I think the government is now working on this point deeply, and they are trying to use this this PowerPoint of Egypt in agriculture and tourism and water desalination and different field actually. So and we can see there's the Bunyan
infrastructure.
Planet.
Yeah.
No, there's in Aswan. There's Bunyan. So it's a very good project for solar energy, for renewable energy.
Yeah, Bimban, yes.
Bimban, yes, the Bimban. Sorry. So Bimban is a very good starting point for Egypt, and we need to do it more in different areas in Egypt. So it's a very good example to how can we use our weather, our atmosphere to get a new technology and new ideas, and that make us proud. So we need another
more Bimbans in Egypt.
Yes, that's what I mean.
The financing, I mean, does it need a lot of money to build such a huge power plant and a solar energy plant, and do you think it should get the priority? Because there are a lot of spending priorities as well.
Actually, the capital costs for the stations like Bimban and so on is the problem. But for running costs, if we compare it with the traditional ways by using fossil fuels and so on, of course it's more
economic.
Economic, of course, yes. So if we focused on the capital cost, it will be the problem. But if we think about the long term and the whole world now moving from the fossil fuel to renewable energy, and we have the opportunity now. So why not are using it? We have to do. So, and I think the government is working on this deeply. Yes, actually, we saw some. I can see the Prime Minister talk about this many times,
right.
And we are doing well in this. Like we can see, wind turbine, yeah, and many projects are working on. So I think we moved in a good way from 2012 up to now.
Okay. Well, Egypt is obviously very serious about making the transition to renewable energy. Obviously, there is a political will. Obviously, there is an economic need to let go of the expensive traditional energy of fossil fuels. And this is a global trend. And Egypt, I believe, and many experts believe, is a global leader in this field. We saw what happened in COP27, for instance, here in Sharm el-Sheikh. So the political will is there.
Yes, I think the government go to mind that there's a good opportunity to work on this field. So, as you said, COP27 was a good starting point for many projects. Actually, I got a fund based on the COP27 to start on water desalination system powered by solar energy system. So it was a very good idea to make like this funding for projects in this way. So I think from the point of economic, it's a very good economic study for this project for long term, not short term.
Right. Now it's really good that you got into that field relatively early. I don't know if it's early or not. I'm just saying relatively. We're talking about 2013. Again, your PhD in water desalination, because the water needs in Egypt are growing. And when you got into that field, we didn't have the problem of the Renaissance Dam with Ethiopia. So now, I mean, the freshwater needs are even more urgent here in Egypt. So a field like water desalination, I guess, is a very, very important field.
Actually, Egypt is suffering from water shortage for a long time. So it's not the problem of the dam, of Ethiopian dam, but it's a problem of isolated area in Egypt. So we have a large amount of coastal areas. It's a very long places for people isolated from water. So we can see some people cannot reach the fresh water for drinking and for agriculture and so on. So it's not, 77,000 years we are just living on the river Nile. But there is some people isolated from water. They need, we have to think about them. We have to do our more effort for them. So we cannot move the river Nile from middle of Egypt to coastal areas like Bahr al-Ahmar and so on, Red Sea and so on. So there is some isolated places we have to think about them. So our projects or more researches are going to how to do some effort, how to bring water, fresh water, for those people who are isolated from fresh water from Nile, River Nile and so on. So we are thinking on water desalination systems that depends on powered by solar energy, and they can use seawater directly. So we don't need to bring fresh water on cars and so on. These very, very expensive things. So if we can get some water or drink fresh water for those people, I think we did a very good job.
So how are the technologies progressing? I mean, the technology of desalination, and how is Egypt catching up with the latest technologies in this field?
Actually, most of the world are using this technology in two ways. It's direct thermal technology, which means we are heating up the water, seawater or some salt water or something like that, by using electricity or any kind of thermal heating, direct heating, to get some evaporation and condensation later and so on. This is a way, old-fashioned way. Another way is to using reverse osmosis technology, which means you can say if we push some water, salt water, on membrane, some kind of membrane in small holes, so you can catch the salt in the membrane and get the fresh water on the other side. But this technology is the most famous technology. But this technology consumes a lot of energy because it depends on pumping water for a very high pressure. So we need pumps, we need electricity, and getting water, fresh water. But it is very expensive for running costs, and the membranes technology is not available for all countries. So we have to import it out from outside. So the membranes technology we don't have in Egypt, and it consumes some kind of secrets. So we don't have this in Egypt. So we import it from outside, and the maintenance of the planet of RO damaged by 20% every year. So we have to replace it after 5 years. So the capital cost is high,
big, yeah.
and the running cost is high, and it depends on the electricity. So if we have some isolated area on some coastal area or rural area, we have to bring electricity first and build the planet and running the planet. This is very expensive technology.
And this is why you thought of using solar energy.
That's it.
So explain to us, how would the process work, using solar energy to desalinate water?
Okay, we are depending on a known phenomena, very old phenomena, which known as adsorption. So this phenomena had been used by the old Egyptians. Yeah, you can say that if we used some kind of carbon, some kinds of carbon, not every kind of carbon, some kind of carbon or cools. So this material, or silica gel as well, if we attach it with water, so something like that magnetism happened between this material. So it transfer it from liquid to gas and get it inside the solid material. So if we have silica gel, the material, the vapor become inside the cavities of the silica gel or the cavities of activated carbon. And if we heated it up for some kind 80 degrees Celsius or something like that, we can get this vapor as a pure vapor and condensate it in later. So we are getting very fresh or pure water without any silica gel or anything, without salts or anything. So it's easy, but the phenomena is known, but how to transfer it to a technology or a system. That's what we were working on. So we're working on this technology, this idea, this phenomena, known phenomena, to transfer it to be a system. That's what we did.
You already did that?
Yes.
I mean, you've already succeeded in doing that?
Yes, we did some kind of prototypes, different prototypes to make a first system that can work standalone using solar energy directly and producing water, fresh water for anyone can use it.
Very good. And here is where the capital cost is okay, it's not very expensive, and the running cost is also not very expensive.
For the running costs, you can say it's working on solar energy, so it's very low, the running costs. The capital cost may be expensive a little bit, but still we are working on research. You know, research takes some time. But for economic study, if we study the system for 30 years, for example, we can say that the cost of cubic meter of fresh water, the 1 kilometer produced from this system, is the cost is a little bit half.
Lower, much lower than.
Yes, much lower than half of the RO system, the known systems.
Okay, and how common is this in Egypt right now? I mean, is it common in some projects in some areas, or is it still under the field of study?
It's still under research.
Still under research.
Yes, but we build different systems and research, many research papers, research articles in producing to show our work in systems.
So we're still in the research process, but we haven't applied anything yet.
Outside the lab, not yet.
Okay. When do you expect to begin to apply these researches, because they seem to be, so beneficial?
Yes, okay, you are right, but I don't know the answer of this question. When it's not my word, but we are trying, we are doing our best, but we are trying to move from the lab to outside the lab. We are needing some financial support, of course. We are needing some area like some places on coastal area to do our to build up a large scale system. So it's not, I am a researcher, so I'm not the controller in this.
Right. To build a large scale system, do we have a small scale system already? We do.
Yeah, inside the lab.
Again, but only inside the lab.
inside, not outside yet.
So, where do you expect to get the funding? I mean, the government, the private sector, NGOs, would you go to international organizations? I don't know.
So actually we got some fund from the government
the research
I
process.
said in the COP 27 we got some funding and we built some systems on that and publish it. I can see some of my colleagues have been invited to work on university at Saudi Arabia to build the same system there, and they are my students, by the way.
They really need it in Saudi Arabia. Yeah.
Yes,
they
of
don't
course.
have a Nile, a river. Yeah.
Yes, they are working hard on this, and they give them the needed financial support to build up the system in a more scale, in a bigger scale.
Have they gotten it out of the lab in Saudi Arabia, or are they still?
They are thinking on that.
Okay.
But not yet. But
Okay.
But actually, I can see our government supporting us, and I got the award of excellence, encouragement excellency from the government. Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. So we are working. Yeah. We are got some fund, some encouragement from the government, and we are trying to reach.
Where in the world does this process exist, or does it?
Not yet.
Very good.
Yeah.
So this is a pioneering effort, really.
Actually, you can say there's about 5 labs on the world working on the same point. So there's a competition between that.
Where are these labs, Dr. Asqalani?
Japan, as I started, was my start point, and there's one in Germany, and there's another one at UK, one in Italy, and I'm not sure there's one in USA. So now we are working on a cooperation project with Italian, some Italian group to build a bigger, or you can say moderate system for based on this technology.
When do you hope or aspire that this would be a reality? In a matter of months, years, decades? I don't know. I mean, you tell me, when do you think it's possible?
I think within 10 years it will be common technology. Yes.
Okay. And surely this is really something that would solve a lot of water shortage problems and energy problems as well.
Yes, of course. Yeah, we need it really. Yeah. At Egypt, of course, we need some ideas like that. The idea makes money nowadays.
Yeah. Whenever we talk about renewable energy nowadays, of course, solar and wind plants, solar and wind energy are very important, and in Egypt there are already big steps in that direction. But we always also hear about green hydrogen, sometimes about green oxygen, and we know that Egypt wants to make strides and be a hub in this regard.
Yes.
Now, how can green hydrogen, for instance, be of benefit to water desalination? If it can, I don't know. I'm asking you.
Actually, I am not expert in the green hydrogen, but I know the green hydrogen is a good helper for supporter for getting electricity without fossil fuel. But I cannot talk about this because I am not expert in this field. But it's another trend in renewable energy, and I think Egypt can benefit from this. Well,
but as far as water desalination goes, we're talking about the use of solar energy.
Yeah, in water desalination.
Yes.
So instead of using electricity or fossil fuel, we have to use solar energy, because solar energy is our treasure in Egypt. So we have a large area for support.
In the eastern desert, in the western desert, in
Yes.
Sinai.
So we can use it actually, because our weather is good all the year. So we have a sun rays, and so we can use it instead of using the electricity and fossil fuel. So I think the idea that depends on solar energy can be a good idea to be used in Egypt instead of using it in Europe, because Europe, there is no sun most of the year. So we have it here.
Yeah, the report I was talking to you about, the tourism-related report, it came from Britain, and it said that England, I don't remember if it said England or the UK in general, but I think it said England, is one of the 5 countries that received the least amount of sun rays throughout the year. Yeah. And it mentioned again Egypt, Namibia, and Sudan. But you said, I mean, it's hard to measure. It's hard to measure such. Yeah,
it's tricky.
Yeah,
so
yeah. The number of hours where you're exposed
we
to
cannot
the sun.
say we are the first, but we can say we have a treasure.
Yeah.
So we have to use it.
We have a lot of treasures, Dr. Asqalani.
Yes.
Okay, that's as far as solar energy goes. Can wind energy be helpful?
Yes, of course. So wind energy, you can say, is a mother, is a source of solar energy, of electricity. So we have some planets in Egypt. We can make it more, of course. Yeah, I know that the government working on this to increase the planets of wind energy. So we can use the source of electricity in the green electricity. We can say it's green electricity without using the fossil fuel in presenting empowering planets for water desalination or in rural areas like Red Sea and so on. So yes, Egypt, we have, as you said, we have different treasures.
Yeah.
But we are still working on to bring it up.
Okay, and now I want to ask you about your experience in the final minutes that we have here in the program. You got your PhD from Japan. What did you like most about studying in Japan? Or living in Japan?
Living?
Living or studying? I mean, you've been to Japan, you've been to Germany, you've been to Scotland. So compare to us the 3 countries, your 3 experiences between studying, working, and teaching as well.
Okay, I like Egypt more. Really, yeah.
We all do. It's our homeland. Yeah.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I choose to come back to Egypt by my own decision. Actually, I worked at different countries, but you can say working at Japan, there are some kind of machines, so you are not dealing with people. Yeah, so they are working from you can say about more than 12 years a day.
12 hours a day.
Sorry, 12 hours a day. So they don't have, you can say, they don't have homes. They sleeping on the labs.
And you have to be like them, right? You have to work 12 hours a day.
There's some kind of competition. So you can see yourself is strange, weird. Why you are going home early?
Yeah.
So some kind like 6 p.m., 7 p.m. and you are going home. Oh, it's too early to go home. They are going home after 9 p.m.
Okay.
So I didn't like it living there. Yes, I learned from them different things, good things. Yes, like how to work hard, how to like what you are working on, but I didn't like their lifestyle.
Okay, what about Germany, the German experience? You're going to tell me it's similar to that of Japan, a little bit similar.
So, yeah, some kind of that, yeah. Actually, the language was...
a barrier?
Yeah, different.
Obstacle?
I couldn't learn Germany on short term, so I don't like to stay there. For my kids as well.
So I guess the Scotland experience was the best?
Yes, I think that, yes. Scotland as a language was, I can speak English, my kids as well. So, but after a while I like it to go back to my country to transfer the technology and what I learned there to come back to Egypt. And I think I did a good job for my students, and they now got their PhD under my supervision, and got the encouragement award from the Egypt as well for 2 of my students, and they now are working at the Saudi Arabia to transfer what they learned here at Egypt, not at Scotland or not at Japan.
All right, wonderful. Again, congratulations to your students as well. So, Dr. Asqalani, a lot of really commended achievements in your field. What are your dreams in the future regarding, again, the solar energy in Egypt and water desalination efforts? What do you dream of? What do you want to see?
Okay, I'm dreaming I'm dreaming that I can bring our work from lab to the
reality,
normal
to
life
the ground, yeah.
for the people, to help people in these coastal areas and so on. And this can be by the Egyptian hands, not by foreigners. So this is my dream, to bring something for this country without paying money for the outside.
We thank you for that. We commend your efforts. It's been a great pleasure. Dr. Ahmed Al-Asqalani, Associated Professor of Mechanical Engineering at Sohag University, and really a pioneer in the field of water desalination using solar energy. Thank you very much,
Thank you
Dr.
very much.
Al-Asqalani, for being
Thank you,
with
Mr.
us.
Mohammed. Thank
Happy
you.
Ramadan. And thank you, dear viewers, for watching Business Insider. Please stay with my TV.